everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello and welcome. So today we are testing out the Melt and Bailey Sarian collaboration. I have been so excited to try this collection ever since it was announced. I've been a big fan of Bailey's for quite a few years now. Her murder and mystery and makeup Mondays are just so much fun to watch, and I'm a big fan of true crime. I know that's such a weird thing to say like out loud, but true crime is kind of like my comfort in a lot of senses. And Melt Cosmetics, one of my favorite brands that I use on a constant basis. So this turned up a few days ago. I did order it on the day it was released. I didn't want to get the full collection because I was like, I don't need to spend almost £200 on this whole set, even though there are a couple of things that I didn't want to try that much. So I got the eyeshadow palette, of course, I got the gel liner in the shade Nightshade, and I got the lipstick in the shade Hemlock. So we're doing things a bit different today because, as you can see, I have my makeup on already. So what I wanted to do is like this little intro, show you guys how I did this look, and then give you my final thoughts. So this collection has come out, I would say, about 2-3 weeks ago, and it turned up really quickly, which I was so happy about, because sometimes when it comes to things coming from the US, it takes a while. I don't know if this collection will be on Beauty Bay, so if you are a fan of wanting to try this collection, there's no harm in actually ordering it from there, because I have no issues. It turned up super quickly, and at the time it was free shipping, so I didn't have to pay anything on top, which is pretty damn awesome. Like I mentioned, Bailey is a massive YouTuber, and yeah, I kind of had one issue when I opened up my box, because I knew that this was going to happen. One of the shades is broken, so I have had this issue twice with Melt Cosmetics, and I don't know, at the time it was when I purchased from Beauty Bay, and I don't know if it was from America to Beauty Bay or Beauty Bay to me, but with this one we can tell, you know, straight away that it was them coming to me. So even though it did come in like a little bubble wrap, it wasn't enough to kind of savor this shade, and even though it's only one shade, that's okay, it's not too bad. So if you guys haven't seen the palette, it's this stunning like matte tone shade. So we've got 2, 4, 10 shades of mattes, and you've got your nice selection of your kind of colourful tones and a couple of nudish tones and cool tones. And in the beginning I was a bit hesitant because I was like, there's no shimmers, but then when you had a closer look of the actual kind of collection itself, there are some gel kind of liners that I didn't want to get because they just look like there's so much glitter in them. So this is the front of the palette, which is so stunning. It just screams Bailey. And then of course you've got the little bit here as well. How awesome is that? When the promo thing was coming out for it, I was a bit like, she was the last person on my mind that I thought would do a collaboration, but I know that she uses them quite a lot in her videos, and I know that they feature her quite a bit on their social media. So yeah, that is the palette itself. Like I mentioned, with the gel liner, I got the shade Nightshade. So there's 2, and the other one is called Onyx, but is it a really old shade, so it's not like that they came out with a brand new one. And then it's a gorgeous like purple, which you will see me attempt to put on afterwards. And then the gel line, then the lipsticks. So they came out with about 3 or 4, I believe. I will have a picture up to show you guys the full collection. And yeah, it's really stunning. It's like a bit smaller than their kind of normal shades, but in the collection they also came out with some liquid lipsticks, and me being a fan of liquid lipsticks, in the beginning I was like, I might pick it up, but it was separate from the collection. Like if you wanted to get the full collection, you'd have to buy that separately, but looking at the shades, they really didn't appeal to me that much, so I didn't pick them up, which is a bit odd for me because me and liquid lipsticks like go hand in hand. That bag is really cute, and I wish I kind of picked it up, but you know what, by looking at Teresa's like Teresa is Dead video, it was quite a small one, so it probably wouldn't have benefited me that much. So let me just pass you on to like me in the future trying on this makeup, and then I will give you my final thoughts at the end. Okay, so let's now test the palette, and like I mentioned in the beginning, it is slightly broken, so I have to be super duper careful with how I show you guys how I use this. So I'm kind of going to do a mix of a kind of like nudes and maybe a couple of the kind of brighter colours. Ignore my nose, it is the Rosacea Life, and I know it's just in time for Christmas to look like Rudolph, but let's ignore that. So I've got on my Urban Decay primer and my sellotape to kind of get things going. So we are going to start off with Sarian just here. So that's kind of like a terracotta shade, which I love a lot. So like I mentioned, the shades in here are so gorgeous. Like I kind of was a bit hesitant in the beginning to kind of go like, well, there's no like shimmers, so what am I gonna do? But then of course like the whole thing with the shimmers, you can use the gels if you want to. Like I mentioned, I didn't pick those up because I just don't like the look of them. They just look a bit too much for me. So let's get this first shade on. That first shade is absolutely stunning. It is so pigmented and I love it. And you know, we've always had issues with like Melt and their kind of consistency, but even that first shade is packing a punch. So let's go on to another shade, and we're going to go in with Cyanide just here, which is a bit of a yellow tone. So I'm gonna just kind of take some on my brush, if I can, tap off any excess, and we're going to blend it in kind of on the top and blend that side to side, putting it right in my socket as well, just so it kind of is a bit more oomph. Okay, so I mean, this side is looking a bit darker than this side. I'm not sure how that's really happened. This kind of Cyanide is like, it looks like it's a mustard tone in here, but when you put it on, it's slightly more darker, which I think is fine. I don't want anything too yellow anyway, because that kind of wouldn't fit kind of maybe what I'm going for. But now let's go in with because I have my gel liner that I want to use at the end, so I kind of want to go in with something not too crazy. We'll go in with Ricin just here, and that is kind of going to go here. So that's more of a greyish green, which is also very, very nice. Okay, this is stunning. This is a really nice palette. I mean, like I said, I had no hesitation in wanting to buy this, and you know, I can only imagine that so many people more are enjoying this as well. I haven't really seen anyone's reviews. I've seen one person, like Teresa is Dead, I've seen like her review. Haven't seen anyone else, but I feel like the shades are actually very consistent and they don't feel like they're overly like patchy or anything. So we're gonna go in with one more shade because I feel like we'll add one more, then we'll add the liner. So maybe we'll go in with Mercury, because as much as it is broken, I do want to try it out. Oh, very pigmented. Okay, so we're gonna just pat that on here. That is okay. I can only say positive things about this palette, honestly. So we're going to stop using the palette for now, because I mean, we don't have any shimmers. So yeah, this is amazing. Like I mentioned, I'll give my final thoughts at the end anyway. So let's go in with Nightshade just here. Okay, so we've got a gorgeous little purple here, and I am trying to learn my best how to use these kind of gel liners, and I really don't want to mess this up, but I am going to use my sellotape as my main liner. So let's get this on. So now I actually want to reveal what it looks like with the liner on, because I know I might have messed it up so badly. So let's start on this side, which I have a bit more hope for. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I know my sellotape is honestly the best thing when it comes to doing these type of makeup looks. Okay, I've gone a bit more heavy-handed on this side, but what I'm going to actually do now is I'm going to put on the rest of my face, but I'm obviously going to leave the lips to the end. And now we've got the shade Hemlock in the lipstick, so we've got a nice dark brown. So let's get this on. Okay, so that is pretty damn good. So now I'll take you back to future me. Okay, so like I mentioned, this is my finished look. I know I haven't used that many shades in this palette, but oh my god, the pigmentation is absolutely stunning. So as you saw, I used about 4 different shades, and honestly they all blended in absolutely, like, just gorgeous. I'm so happy with the look that I came out with. The gel liners are my own like nemesis because it is so pigmented. I know it's really difficult to get these off, but I will definitely be using it again in the future. It doesn't look as purple as I kind of thought it would, but then with the lipstick, not as dry. So when I got the Nightmare Before Christmas collection, well, a couple of things from them, that lipstick was like ultra matte. Like, this is ultra matte as well, but that was beyond like dry as hell. And this formula I feel like is slightly different, which I like a lot, and it is super duper gorgeous. I really like this look, especially for this time of year as well. But as a whole, I thought the 3 items that I picked up I really enjoyed. And the eyeshadow palette, although the shade is broken, I really couldn't be bothered to actually message them, because I know a lot of times they say either send it back, we'll send you another one. I don't want to take that risk, or they'll give me like £1 or £2 back, and that is just, it's not just worth my time. Though again, in the history of having melt palettes, the inconsistencies and the kind of shimmers and stuff, and you know what, I'm not mad anymore that there's no shimmers in this palette, because I feel like it actually has an amazing job, just all these matte tones themselves. Let me know if you picked up this collection, and yeah, I'm really happy that I did pick it up, even though it did cost me quite a bit of money, because I forgot to mention how much things were. I'm sorry, I think the palette itself was about £60, which is a bit too much in my eyes. But when you think about 10 shades, it's a collaboration as well. They rarely do like collaborations with actual like other like people on social media, because again, it's more like Beetlejuice or Nightmare for Christmas and stuff like that. So I think for us, you know, for someone of Bailey's stature, having it this price is kind of, you know, the way it should be. And I believe, actually, you know what, I can't remember how much they were. I'll put up the prices, or I would have put them up already. Let me know if you picked up this collection, because I would love to know what your thoughts are. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you enjoy this style of video, because it is very different than what I've done before. And yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe, because I film and upload every time I get a chance to. Don't forget to follow me on any of my social medias, because I'm always active on there. And I appreciate you sitting down listening to me ramble on. I'll see you soon. Bye guys.